Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk about all major movie and television news, breakdowns, theories, and more. I'm Chris, and yesterday was an amazing day where we got to see the Snyder cut of the Justice League and, of course, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I did a breakdown earlier for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so if you'd love to check it out after this video, go ahead and see what I thought of the first episode. But for now, we're talking about the Snyder Cut, which was a 4-hour-long super fan event where we got to see everything that could have been in the DCEU. And it's going to be hard for me to wrap my brain around this entire 4 hours and share with you guys what I actually thought about it. I mean, it really was amazing in every way. There's no way for me to talk poorly about the direction that Snyder decided to go, the cinematography, the CGI, the music, the audio, the way he was capable of telling every single individual story, and then bringing it all together to become the Justice League in one movie. It really did feel like 3 movies in one. And it was incredible how they left this awesome cliffhanger and pickup point at the end, which has all of us DC fans and Snyder fans yelling hashtag Restore the Snyderverse. And honestly, that is where I am after the 4 hours where we got to watch this entire movie ring out for us. So to walk you through what it was exactly that we experienced that has fans so excited and kind of bummed out at the same time, it starts off by going deeper into both Flash and Cyborg's story. We hear more about where they came from, what motivates them, what makes them who they are as individuals and as superheroes, and we did get to spend that screen time with every character, which obviously you can do in a 4-hour installment, and it gave more depth and complexity to the entirety of the Justice League Snyder Cut. We also got to spend more time with Steppenwolf, who looks a lot better, sounds a lot better, and his involvement throughout the entire Justice League is just a lot better. And the inclusion of Darkseid, although he isn't very active in the Snyder Cut, gives Steppenwolf a motivation that we didn't see in the original. And of course, the crazy cliffhanger at the end when we realize they're all going to have to fight Darkseid again in this second Justice League that may or may not ever happen for the anti-life which was discovered on Earth and which Darkseid has destroyed over 100,000 different worlds to find. So as we walk through in this step-by-step culminating advancement that turns into the Justice League eventually, we see Bruce Wayne trying to get all of these different Earth Defenders, superheroes, Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, together in order to prepare for this premonition that he had, where he sees the entire world coming to an end and just all sorts of disastrous problems that will require the Justice League to prevent it. So he's trying to get people to come together, and it starts off with him talking to Aquaman, who is not very interested. Eventually, Wonder Woman, who he had already spoken with, comes and says yes, there is an issue, as she gets word from the Amazonians that Darkseid is coming. And they move on to get the rest of the gang together. We then go on and we see the Flash's storyline and Cyborg's storyline as we flash in and out of everything going on as they're trying to prepare and find out what exactly they are up against with Steppenwolf and these 3 crazy alien objects called Mother Boxes, which are used to cleanse a planet before Steppenwolf or Darkseid destroy it and move on looking for this ultimate weapon, the anti-life. After finally getting a good, rich backstory for all of these characters and connecting this to what we already know from Wonder Woman, her 2 movies, and Aquaman, that movie which was released, we get a really good picture of the entirety of the Justice League. But it becomes ever evident that Superman needs to come back in order for them to be able to have an even fighting chance against this evil source, which is trying to wipe out existence on Earth. So using one of these mother boxes, which Cyborg informs us is how he was able to remain alive after him and his mother got in a car accident, his mother passed away, and his father, who was a scientist who had access to this alien device, used it to create Cyborg and kept his son alive. Now there's a whole resentment storyline there, and it's really cool to see that resolved throughout the film and to see Cyborg become someone who has a family through the Justice League and cannot just live in this hatred and anger that he was living into up to this point. And honestly, it would be really cool to get a Cyborg movie, even if it's before or after what happens in Justice League, But again, that's all really cloudy because of some disagreements with Ray Fisher and Warner Brothers. But hopefully that all works out and we do get to see Cyborg in his own solo film very soon, because the character was outstanding in the Snyder Cut. He was played very well, and I think he is a very underrated superhero in the Justice League and in the DC universe as a whole. Anyway, they move on to figure out that they can use this mother box, that if they activate it, they are capable of bringing Superman back to life. So the Flash and Cyborg work together to create enough energy to bring back Superman, which obviously Bruce Wayne is a little bit nervous about, but he knows they have to do it. So they bring Superman back to life. Obviously, he pissed. He starts attacking everybody, and the entire Justice League are all trying to calm him down, to stop him down so they can explain what's going on, but nothing will do it. He walks through all of them very easily. We get one of my more favorite scenes when Superman is fighting the Flash, and he keeps up with him at pace, and you can see how surprised the Flash is. Very all around extremely pleasing to watch, entertaining, and just overall awesome. Eventually, right before Superman goes to completely annihilate Batman, Lois Lane steps in, calms him down, he recognizes her, and they fly off. And then we have the whole Superman scenes where he's trying to remember what's going on, where he is, and figure everything out. And eventually he does recall what was going on, and we get to see him go and find his black suit. He puts it on, he finds Alfred, and then he runs off to help the remaining characters of the Justice League who are currently fighting Steppenwolf and trying to stop him from uniting the three mother boxes to annihilate Earth. But we'll get to that in a second. Meanwhile, over where this is all going down, where they're trying to stop these mother boxes, we get one of the coolest, and I mean it when I'm saying one of the coolest superhero action sequences we have ever seen on screen. Like, just straight up ever seen on screen, as we go around watching these characters of the Justice League try to make their way to the mother boxes in order to act on their plan to shut them down. Now, if they don't get there in time and the three mother boxes fuse, then that's game over. Everybody around is going to die, the entire Justice League is going to die, and everything's done. It's all lost. So throughout some really cool scene, we see everybody eventually make their way to these mother boxes. They're killing a lot of the parademons who are Steppenwolf's sidekicks, who are making all of this possible and happen. And then Steppenwolf versus Wonder Woman. That's how that starts. Aquaman gets involved, and so does Cyborg as they're trying to get to these mother boxes really quick. Time is running out. They're going to have no more time to continue on, and it needs to happen now. Eventually, they make his way to Cyborg, who's trying to hack into these mother boxes in order to stop them from uniting, and Steppenwolf is about to take him out. And of course, here comes Superman, who steps between Steppenwolf and Cyborg, takes an axe hit right to the shoulder, and doesn't even flinch. And it all goes down. Superman starts destroying Steppenwolf. Everybody gets in on it. He gets tossed around like a ping pong ball in a room with a lot of walls, and they completely defeat him. The problem is the Flash needs to get to Cyborg in time for him to power Cyborg enough with the super speed run he's been doing to collect energy, and this will allow Cyborg to have enough power to hack these boxes, these mother boxes, before they collapse on themselves and destroy the Earth. And he doesn't make it. Steppenwolf has been defeated at this point, but Flash does not make it all the way to Cyborg in time to stop the destruction of everything. So these three boxes fuse and everybody dies. Just like that. Gone. Except the Flash, who is far enough away that he had time to make the decision to run faster than he's ever run before. And this specific scene is absolutely jaw-dropping as he runs against time, and you see everything around him recreated as he runs against time, going faster than time, rewriting time, going backwards, and getting to Cyborg in time to touch him, to power him before these boxes unite. And we see each character kind of come back to life in this really gross way, where their bones and their blood go back into their body because they were annihilated by the connection of these cubes. And Cyborg is able to hack it, get into it, defuse the cubes, and ultimately destroy them. And then we see a really awesome and satisfying scene where Wonder Woman chops off Steppenwolf's head, and they throw him through the portal to Darkseid, where Darkseid was awaiting the connection of the cubes, and the portal closes. Now, Darkseid knew Steppenwolf would fail because Steppenwolf was already in his poor graces, and he did not expect him to pull this off. However, Steppenwolf did find the anti-life, and Darkseid comments how they are still going to go and receive and collect this weapon that they have been looking for thousands and thousands of years. We go back to our heroes who return home, and we get a very heartwarming feeling of everything going around them. Everything's kind of falling back into place, and it's really cool to see how that all ends and turns out. Now, there are two major cliffhangers that we get from the Snyder Cut, which is where all the fans are crying for the restoration of the Snyderverse, hoping he'll come back, they'll make this movie canon, and they can move on with plans as originated. And it starts off with Lex Luthor and Deathstroke. Lex Luthor managed to escape from prison, or from the Arkham Asylum where he was held, and he meets up with Deathstroke, who wants to kill the Bat. And Batman is revealed to Deathstroke to be Bruce Wayne by Lex Luthor, and that's a huge cliffhanger where we get left off. And obviously, that would be a very awesome solo film to watch. Deathstroke versus Batman, Lex Luthor versus Batman continue to moving on. But of course, Lex Luthor mentions that he has bigger fish to fry, in that the superhuman is back, and he's obviously referring to his arch nemesis, Superman. So that's all very interesting and wrapped up into a really cool continuation scene. But then we get the premonition, the nightmare that Batman has been having this entire time, that he references throughout the movie a few separate times, including one time where he says Lois is the key. And it's all very confusing, and it makes sense in this final scene where he's hanging out with Mara, Cyborg, The Flash, Deathstroke, and the Joker. And it is this very apocalyptic feeling. Everything's fallen to ruins. You're a little confused at the time. Him and Joker share a very awesome dialogue where they talk about the death of Robin and of Harley Quinn, and they even mention how many different timelines Batman has destroyed because of his ego and his unwillingness to die, which is a really cool reference to the multiverse, which may somehow still connect to the Flash movie, which will be coming out, where we know the multiverse is going to be explored. And then we find out the villain behind all of this apocalyptic premonition is in fact Superman, who is extremely unhappy because Lois Lane had died. Now, this is a dream that Bruce Wayne in this universe, the one we just watched, has been having, so it is a huge cliffhanger to a possibility of a future issue where the Justice League now has to redefeat Superman, who has completely ravaged the planet Earth because of the loss of Lois Lane. And then, of course, even more cliffhangers for us was when the Manhunter shows up to Bruce Wayne's house after he woke up from the dream, and he even says they're coming back. He's talking about Darkseid will be coming back for the anti-life, which was part of the cliffhanger that we got from the entire main storyline. He said he was going to get it. They said that the fight wasn't over, and the Justice League is going to need to continue on. Now, this is all the vision that Zack Snyder had. This entire 4-hour super movie was full of awesome surprises, very well-told story, amazing cinematography, CGI, graphic design. All of it was very much on point. And during our watch party, I was able to converse with a lot of you guys who agreed that this is really the direction DC should have headed. And how is it possible that they decided against this and went with the Justice League instead? Well, we'll never know the answer behind that, but what we do hope now is that this gets picked up to become canon, which honestly, as I'm sitting here saying it, I don't think is going to happen. Warner Brothers have their own separate plans, and it doesn't include Snyder, sadly. But if it were to happen, this is where we would be picked up. And all of this connect to Aquaman, to Suicide Squad, to the future of Wonder Woman, and of course every other project that needs to happen from the DCEU could spur off of this Justice League movie. It made sense, it connected, it paved the path for characters who haven't had movies yet, like Cyborg and Deathstroke. It gave us a lot of opportunity to move forward with these characters, and it was a very strong connecting DC film. It really did give us movie after movie of information all in this one little package, and Snyder's vision was very, very insightful. I enjoyed this movie 100%, 10 out of 10. It was a great superhero movie. It had everything it needed to, including a clear defining path, which is what DC has been missing over the years. But guys, let me know what you thought about this in the comments section down below. Obviously, I've chatted with a lot of you already about what you thought, what you noticed, and everybody seems pretty happy with how it turned out. It was a gorgeous masterpiece, and I have very little negative things to say, if any, about the way it turned out and the way it ended. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. As always, thank you to everybody who watched to the very end of the video. If you found it helpful, useful, or entertaining, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notification bells, check me out on TikTok, Twitter, Discord, wherever, and become a part of the community. But for now, that was another episode of Cosmic Culture.